Welcome back to the Homemade Haven. Today I want to share with you guys a super quick, simple, and easy way to preserve your okra harvest. So to begin with, let's get in here and harvest all this okra and get it inside to the kitchen. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to pickle your okra and how to make it shelf stable so that you can enjoy it for many months to come. We got a pretty decent okra harvest here. This should be enough for about 3 or 4 pint-sized jars. This pickling recipe is pretty easy and universal. You can use all kinds of different vegetables with the brine that we will be making. This is my go-to recipe right now while we're at the end of summer. We're only getting okra and some green beans here and there. We have been preserving some of our okra by just throwing it in the freezer, and that's a great way to preserve it as well. But we also like pickled okra, and this is just a super simple recipe, so I'll show you guys exactly how to do it so you can make it at home yourself. First, let's start off getting these things good and washed up. Alright, so our okra is good and cleaned off, and I wanted to show you guys about the size range that you want to stick with for pickling okra. Really, the best size is somewhere around 2 to 3 inches long. You can do smaller ones if you have those. Sometimes I pick these little guys while I'm out there because I only pick every 3rd day or so, and by the time I would make it out there, those would be giant and probably too big to eat. So I just go ahead and harvest all of the okra that I see while I'm out there. The largest ones that I would use for pickling would be maybe 4 inches or so. You can kind of gauge whether they're gonna make for good pickles or not by the way that they bend. This one is probably more in the 5 to 6 inch range, but it does have a good bend about it. So I will probably chop this one up and put in there for pickling. Now this one here is more like 7, 8 inch long okra, and it has absolutely no give to it. This okra would not be good without some major cooking, stewing to soften it up really well. So I'll probably put this one in my bag in the freezer to chop up and add to some kind of soup or stew or something, but not great for pickling. Okay, so next I am going to gather my pots for the brine and for our water bath. I'm just using a small saucepan for my brine because I'm estimating that I only have about 3 or 4 pints worth of okra, so we really don't need that much brine. And then I'll be using my smaller water bath canner here since I only have a few jars to can today. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some hot water in this and get it going on the stove so that it won't take as long to bring it to a boil whenever we're ready to add our jars into this. If you're using brand new jars or jars that have not been previously sanitized, now is a good time to go ahead and stick them in your water bath canner and let them come up to temperature with your pot of water. That will help to sterilize your glass and get rid of any bacteria that could be on the surface. These have already been sanitized in my dishwasher, so I'm not gonna worry about it today. And I will be using brand new lids to go on these jars, but because our processing time will be 10 minutes or higher, I don't have to worry about sanitizing those either. And they made it to where you don't have to preheat your lids that go on your jars in order for them to seal anymore. So that's a step that we get to skip today. Now we're ready to make our pickling brine. This is a super easy brine recipe, and if you've ever made pickles, you've probably used something that's very similar or even the same recipe before. So you just do equal parts of a good clean water and distilled white vinegar. This is a 5% acidity vinegar. As long as you stick to equal parts of these, your pickling recipe will be successful. After you have these two ingredients, you can add different things for flavors and spice and whatnot, but your water and your vinegar are what's going to pickle whatever vegetable that you use. So I've got about 3 cups of water, and I'm gonna do 3 cups of vinegar. I usually make way too much at a time, and if that's the case, you can stick what you have left over into the refrigerator and use it the next time that you're ready to do some pickling. Next, we're gonna add about 3 teaspoons of salt. Now again, you can adjust this ratio however you want to. It doesn't affect your pickling brine recipe for canning purposes or anything like that. So 3 teaspoons is usually pretty good as far as my family's liking, but you could decide to do a little bit less or a little bit more, however you want to do it. And that's it for the brine part. We are gonna add some things to our jars for some extra flavoring, but for this part, that's all I'm adding to the pot. I'm gonna turn on some medium heat and just keep stirring this until the salt is well incorporated. We're gonna bring it up to a light boil. I'm gonna put a lid on it so that it will come to boil a little bit quicker. So now we are ready to start stuffing our canning jars with our okra. If you had put these inside of your pot to sterilize, just dump the water out of them, take them out, and set them on some kind of heat-safe surface. So now is the part where you can get a little bit creative with your recipe and cater things to your taste liking. I add a clove of garlic to each jar, as well as a couple shakes of mustard seed, a little sprinkle of turmeric, some dill weed, and some crushed black pepper. A lot of people will use whole peppercorns, but I have a pepper grinder, so it's just easier for me to do it that way. If your garlic has a bad spot, kind of like this one, just cut it off. Probably would not affect your recipe, but we want the most fresh ingredients possible whenever we are canning stuff. So because I'm unsure how many jars I'm actually going to have worth of okra, I'm just going to start with 3 and 3 cloves of garlic at the moment so that I don't waste a clove. I mean, I guess you could put it in one of the other jars and have extra garlicky okra, but it only takes a minute to pop open another clove to put in a 4th jar. So I'm gonna start with 3 and see how far this okra goes. Right, so now I'm going to add my seasonings. I'm gonna do a couple shakes of dill, probably about 1/8 to 1/4 teaspoon worth. Again, it's to your taste likings. I'm gonna do a couple shakes of mustard seed, probably about the same amount, a little dash of turmeric, and a couple cranks of black pepper. And this is about what it looks like here before I add my okra and brine. Now we are ready to add our okra to our jars. Now I usually start off with the good 4-inch okra and I put them stem side down, and I like to start with the bigger ones because it's easier to squeeze the small ones in, like the little nooks and crannies, after you have these already packed. So one thing you want to be careful of when you're using taller okra, that they're not going to be touching your lid or affecting your head space in any way. So This is about as tall of an okra as I want to use. It's about at my 1/2 inch headspace area. If you have some that are a little bit longer, like this one's probably gonna be longer, like that, I'm just gonna take the knife and just trim the top of it off so that it's within that headspace area. All right, the more okra that you get inside of your jar, the tighter they're going to fit, and that is really what you're going for. You really want to try and squeeze in as many as you can, because once you add the brine, they're going to want to float and come to the top. When you open a jar of pickled okra, you want more than just 5 or 6 okra in a jar. So I really try to stuff them to max capacity to get the best use of my jar. So now I'm going to take my knife and just trim off these top pieces, just like so. And now I'm going to take some of the smaller okra and go tip side down and fill in these other little holes and spaces. So you'll know that your jar is completely packed and ready for brine when you can't squeeze any more okra in any of the spaces. You should be able to flip it over and none of your okra fall out, but don't do that because your seasonings would fall out. All right, so our brine is good and hot and the salt is all melted inside. We have our okra all ready to go. I did end up with a 4th pint, not quite a full pint, but these were all the little tiny guys that were left over, so they'll just be kind of floating around in there all willy-nilly, but they'll be fine. Another thing I wanted to add is that you can go ahead and slice up your okra into rounds before putting them in the jar if you'd rather have them pickled that way. We just like the whole okra because they're easy to just pick one out and eat the whole thing at one time. The tops of them are edible. We do cut them about 1/2 inch off the okra pod itself, and they pickle up and taste just like the rest of the okra, so don't waste any of them. Now we're ready to pour our brine into our jars, and we're going for about 1/4 inch of headspace at the top of your jar, or at least covering the top of your okra. So I made about a cup too much of my brine, probably 1/2 cup less of both vinegar and water if you don't want to have any left over. But as I mentioned, I'm making a lot of pickled okra right now because it's really one of the only things that we're getting out of the garden at the moment. So I will just put this in a jar, keep it in the refrigerator, and next time I have okra to pickle, just pop it back in a pot, get it hot again, and pour it in those jars when the time comes. All right, so now that we added our brine, some of our okra are rising up to the top and floating, so just take something to just kind of push them back down into the brine so they're not going to be in the way of your lid. Next, we're going to wipe the rims of our jars with a wet rag. Then we're going to take our new lids and stick right on top. And we'll take our rings up next and tighten them on our jars until they are finger tight. So that means we're not cranking them on. This is just as tight as the tips of my fingers can tighten them. All right, so our canner over here has been at a rapid boil for a little bit. I went ahead and turned the heat off on it so that it was not such a temperature shock putting my jars into them. These jars are getting good and hot because of the brine that we just poured into them, but because we're going from room temperature out here into a hot pot of water, we don't want to shock them too terribly bad. So I turned the heat down on them. The water is still good and hot. I have my spacer inside of my pot, so these are not going to be in direct contact with the heat at the bottom of the pot. So I've got my jar grabbers here, and I'm just going to slowly lower this into my pot of water. Okay, so we have our jars in and we've got water covering the tops of the jars, which is important to help it seal. We're just going to go ahead and crank the heat back up. So we're gonna let this water come to a boil and then we're gonna start our timer for 10 minutes. I'm gonna put the lid on top of this to help it come up to temperature a little bit quicker. All right, so now we have started a good boil. We're gonna start the timer for 10 minutes. All right, so it's been 10 minutes that our okra has been boiling in the water bath. So we are ready to cut off the heat, and I'm just gonna let this pot kind of simmer down a little bit, the temperature to come down once again so that we don't shock our jars whenever we remove them and bring them back into room temperature. Be sure that you have a towel or some kind of mat that you can transfer your jars onto that will be out of the way of other activities for the next 12 hours or so, because once you take your jars out of the pot, place them onto your cooling area, you don't want to touch or mess with them for about 12 hours. And we are ready to transfer our jars to their resting space. We're just gonna carefully lift them up out of the water, right to the rack. Okay, so our okra is now in its final resting spot for about 12 hours. And once the 12 hours have passed, we will take the rings off the top of the jars and feel if the lids of the jars have sealed completely to the jar or not. If they have, they're gonna go into our pantry. If they haven't, we're gonna stick them into the fridge and eat them within the next few days, weeks, months. Thank you so much for joining me in this video today. I hope that you learned how to make some delicious, easy pickled okra at home yourself. You can use your homegrown garden okra, or you can use okra from the farmer's market or the grocery store. It all works exactly the same. So let me know if you try this recipe in the comments below, or if you have anything to add or take away from this recipe. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and we will see you guys on the next video.